let's get this agency up, man. So I've looked over a few things that you sent over, but I really before I be like before we go into any of these calls, I really want to understand the vision and the specific details of what you want to build out, right? I know a couple different times we kind of pivoted a little bit. So this call would be basically kind of like an action game plan of like if I was to be in your specific situation, how I would go about structuring some of the things and like what are some of the things as you being the CEO, what are the specific things you need to focus in on right now to get the result, and then what's kind of like the stages of this specific business. So we're gonna,
Yeah.
build this custom together on the next time that we have here. So just high level overview, like I know you sent me some of the the stuff out there. What exactly are you trying to look to build? And Kyle, you can also interject at any time as well because I know you've been very hands on with Michael. I
I'll
do
fill
know
the
high
gaps.
level, but I would like to know what are like right now the constraints specifically, and then we'll address them.
Oh,
Well,
okay, so
Michael,
you
you
want
can go.
okay, so
I'll
y'all are kind of wondering like what it is I want to do, right? So like what I want to do with my agencies, Rar, is I want to be that agency that like markets video games when they come out. Like let's say if an Assassin's Creed game right before it was announced on TV, like it would call us up and say, hey, we want you to market our game and on TV, like they do on TV, like on soda bottles, like even if you buy sometimes like food packages, it'll have like a little code so they check inside or whatever. And then they do it on social media, billboards, all kinds of ways, man.
Okay. So
But the only
the
thing
ultimate
is,
vision you have, sorry, go ahead. I thought
yeah,
you were
the
done.
only thing is I do not know how to do that. I only
Yeah.
know it from the gamer view, like the one buying the stuff, not the business side of it.
Yeah, so Zarar, essentially he wants to be long-term speaking, be a household name where he's promoting new releases for video games, so forth. That's the end
Okay.
goal.
Completely. Okay. So it's just a matter of like we just have okay, that's the ultimate vision, right? That's where we want to get to. What can we do now to be able to get to the next stepping block, right? Because it's like almost impossible to get to that level that you're thinking about right now. Like you need to have
Yeah.
case studies, you need to have a big team, like to work with those. I mean, you're talking about like you probably at a 7-figure a month kind of mark to be able to
Hmm.
even be considered, right? Kyle knows what I'm talking about. But to get there is like let's assemble like what can we do, right? So if you want to do video games or like games in general, probably maybe starting off with the Play Store. And like I'm talking about this from experience. Like we personally have games and apps out there. So you can just like, for example, we have some games out there. You can just contact people like us, like, hey, we're looking for marketing. You want to scale? Do you want and when it comes to that marketing piece, there's a lot of pieces to it, right? So it's not only getting downloads, but inside of that, there's multiple ways to make money on an app, right? One of them is ads, right? In-game ads. Okay. That's one. Number two is upsells. Huge. Small little micro upsells. Hey, buy this $2.99 character, 50-cent gun, right? You add those up, you stack those up, what the upsell sequence is. You can send out emails. So it's like it's a whole game in itself of how the marketing for games looks like, right? It's a huge market. And I think just alone, if you focus in on, for example, the apps and games, like just the Google Play Store or the Apple, the Apple Store, like you can land some pretty decent clients. And the beauty about being in the software space is, there's a quote, I'm probably going to butcher it, but it goes something along the lines that drugs and software are the only things that can get the result, like can get the profit that comes with it, right? Something along those lines. I don't know the exact quote. I used to remember it, but it's a very profitable niche for sure. Like there's no question about it. But it's like you have this big ultimate vision. Okay, cool. We can step it down a little bit and then go in from the angle of let's go in for the smaller people first, get the case studies, get the testimonials, and then kind of go from there. Does that make
That's
sense?
kind of like what we've been stuck on with this is like trying to figure out who that audience is, right?
Okay, for
So
sure. Well, okay, so we're just looking at traffic source, right? You're like, okay, where do we get these leads from? Correct?
yeah,
Okay. Multiple ways to go about that, right? There's ads, paid ads. Usually that's quicker, a lot faster, but it's more expensive. Like you have to invest more up front. The second option, cold or like organic, right? Cold email, cold DMs, they do work, right? If done properly, of course.
Mhm.
And I can send you over like some of the stuff that that we used for ourselves, like it's proven stuff for our business. But specifically for your angle, I think that can crush it, right? So an example could be, well, number one is like Facebook ads. I think they can crush, right? Like you specifically target the right people. And try to go in for the smaller people first, right? You go in for the bigger guys, like no one's gonna like look at you. That's just the way it is. You can definitely go in for the smaller people. If not, if you don't want to spend money, or if you want to do both, you can definitely do organic as well. What you can do is just like cold email, right? Like get a list of that specific, the specific people that are in there, and then just start blasting them with cold emails and get a few people
Yeah.
on the calendar, close your first 1 or 2, 3 deals, and then you can scale with paid ads, or you can go more organic, get more setters, get more people who can data scrape for you, or you can even do LinkedIn. I think that's pretty big as well, LinkedIn. But yeah, those are a couple different sources
Yeah.
of getting
So
leads.
on LinkedIn, that's kind of the thing. I got 2 VAs on LinkedIn right now, but the problem that they're having is the same thing like before. Is we don't know who to look for. Like, do we look for game publishers, game companies, game studios, software developers, game developers? Like, we don't have no clue.
Okay, so LinkedIn, I would just go for the CEOs and stuff, right? For like these small little apps and games. Like, okay, we can even like screen share real quick. And man, you can even do this math. If you like, that's the thing, right? That's the beauty when you're like starting off. I know you're like, in the beginning phases. You can just like go manual route too. Or you can just have the VAs, actually just have the VAs do it, right? Instead of you doing it, but it's still manual for them. So you just like type in Google Store, Google Play Store.
Yeah, my main concern that we've been having with this, like overall, Zorar, is I don't know our offer and our message fits into like what we're trying to do.
Okay, well, we'll pull it up in a second. We can definitely look over that as well. It's just like things like this, right? Offline games, no Wi-Fi. Okay, who is this person? Go here. 65K reviews. These guys are probably doing like multiple 6 figures a month. And you can just go down to their, where is it, like. And by the way, chances are they have multiple apps. So this is the publisher right here, right? These are the apps, or these are the games they have. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they have 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. They have 20 different games right here. Okay. And if this one has 100 million downloads, right? The one we saw before had 10 million. This one has 10 million. Like they may be slightly bigger. They may have their own internal marketing team, but like you can always reach out to them. You know what I mean? Like they're definitely doing 8 figures a year for sure.
So Zorar, if you're gonna, let's just say you're gonna reach out to one of these people, how would you actually tactically go about that?
There's a couple software, there's a couple tools out there, right? Like where you can literally search. Skipping my mind right now. There's like multiple tools. Basically, it's data scraping tools. You just type in Google and you can just like pick a few of them. It's like $29 a month, for example, membership. Get it one time, put in these keywords, scrape the list, and you're good to go.
So it gives you like email, contact, stuff like that.
Exactly for specific niches, for specific industries, right? You can also do phone numbers. Like you can start cold calling. You know what I mean? If you have 2 VAs, Michael, you can just have those VAs cold call. You can, email them. And again, there's like the structure and all that cool stuff. I can send you over those templates, that go into the cold email stuff. But, that's the way to do it. And if you want to do the manual way, you can as well, which is just like, somewhere here it should be there.
Yeah, like right now we've been using Sales Navigator. We haven't been doing.
I don't know if I would use LinkedIn, honestly. LinkedIn, unless they're like CEOs, that could be like smaller. But if you're looking for like people who are like 2nd or 3rd ranked, they usually they already have their marketing teams. You want to look for people, so like literally just like us, right? So let's look at ours. This is one of our accounts. Let me show you. And that's the beauty about this, is like you don't have to be in in the gaming space only. Like you can do apps as well, right? So here, I think they changed the name. It was a copyright issue we had. All right, so this is one of our other accounts. So here's like for example, like an Islamic account, right? So it's pretty niche. So 1 million downloads. A few of these have like 1 million. Some of them have like 500K plus. This is the perfect type of clientele that you would want to go after, right? People like, it's a proven offer, meaning it's a proven app, right? There's 1 million plus downloads, 4.6K review, 4.6 stars, 14K reviews. And now it's like, hey, you're going to help them go to 10 million, for example, right? And then what you're going to do is incorporate some upsells, incorporate some of these, in-app ads, right? To get them the results, email sequence. And then another thing you can do is high ticket. You can add in a high ticket model for them. So just from this specific app, like the amount of emails that we have here, it's like 1 million plus emails that we have. You know how much? That's a lot of worth, right? And if we want to ever establish like a high ticket program for this, we can come up with that as well, right? Does that make sense, Michael?
Yeah. So how do you, like, if you wanted to search a whole bunch of these at once,
Yeah, you can just go to the website. So this is what I was trying to go after. Go to the website, you'll have their email, and then take their email them there, and it's basically a cold email, right? That you're doing. Phone number, whatever it is, call them. And this is a mass thing. That's why it's like if you have two VAs, it's perfect. I would just send them on here. Every day they can probably do maybe 300 of these. Yeah, get a couple people on the calendar and you close them, and that's your first few clients.
I'm just trying to figure out how to explain that to them because they're going to say, okay, so who's the audience?
Well, the audience is like, I mean, ideally, if I was to, again, be in your shoes, I'd hit up people who have like 1 million plus downloads on their game, for example. And then you're going to come in and get it to the next level. If they're already at like 10 million, chances are they probably have their internal marketing team.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's like you want to get into a space, you want to get into an intersection where you see growth, because when you see growth, you can make them money, which means you can, they're going to give you money as well, monthly recurring revenue. And you can have there's so many different ways, right? You can have, a retainer starting off, and then you can have a percentage of the profit increase that you help them with, right? Because you're a marketing agency, you're going to be able to help them come up with different upsells, different structures and strategies when it comes to them generating cash, them generating money, from the app, right? So that's how you do that. And then when it comes to getting these leads, like I said, cold, I would probably just do cold. If ad spend is a little bit of an issue, just cold email, cold DM. That stuff it's so simple. It's just a matter of just doing it on a mass level. If you already have two VAs, man, you're good to go. Like you just have to, get them on this is how you do it. This is how you structure it. What I would do is for you, I would personally figure it out on your own. Like what that method is, which is like, just like I said, I'll give you all the templates. You just have to send them. You record that training, you get them on a call, you teach them like, all right, this is how you do it. And then you guys set up projections, right? Of like, okay, I want you to do 150, 200 of these per day, for example. Out of those, you'll be able to see how many calls you're going to start getting. So after about 2 weeks, you're going to have a very sustainable business of like, oh, if I X big list, whatever that number is, 1,000 people, for example, out of 1,000 people, I send out maybe 800 emails because maybe 200 of them are fake, for example. Out of the 800 emails, maybe, 50 people respond. Out of the 50 people, 15 people book their call. If you have a 33% close rate, which is, not that hard to do, you're going to close 5 clients. If each client is worth, say, for example, 5K, say 8K, right? So it's like 5K setup and 3K retainer. So you're looking at 8 times 5, which is, my brain's fried. What's 8 times 5? 30? 40, man. I don't know what's going on. Whoever's watching the recording, it's been a long day. All right. 40. There, I should know these. I know my multiplication like this, but all right. That's 40K right there. And now you have a very sustainable business. Like, oh, cool. If I get a list of XYZ, I send out XYZ emails, I get XYZ responses, calls, closes, clients. From there, you upsell. And now you see you're building this model, you're building this business out. So where you don't have to deal with a lot of the stress of like, oh, where my next client is going to come from. You know exactly what that model looks like, because you've built it out yourself. But you have to take that leadership yourself and just prove it once. You just have to prove it once. Record it and send it off to your people.
Okay. Yeah. So real quick, Zerora, I actually had a client share this with me today. One of the upper page, she's finding leads. And I think can you give me a permission to share real quick? I think this is what you're talking about as far as scraping data. And Michael, I just want to show this with you, and you can look up competitors similar to this. But so there's this company called SMM Deal Finder. And what's really cool is if you go back here, so you can type in keywords like the niche you're going after and put in a city. So I just put in, gaming publishers.
Exactly. There's tons of tools out there. You just Google search it and go from there.
Miami, right? Let's just see how many leads we can find with that. It's utilizing AI, scraping data at the moment. And what you're going to see that pops up though is it's going to have actual companies, their email. Look, check this out. And so now you have their name, you have their email. You can see the ads they're running on Meta, for example. Get all that data there. If they don't have any, that's a good sign. Then you can walk in and you can look at their socials. Estimated budget. I haven't played around too much with this, so I can't really speak on that. Now, obviously, there's going to be a fee for this. I believe she mentioned it's like $200 or $300 a month, something crazy. But I mean, if you close a few leads off of that, that pays for it. You know what I mean? But this data is so valuable, bro.
Wait, real quick. Go down all the way. So 6 million leads. This is what I wanted to show you in just the game publishing.
That's crazy.
People.
That's crazy. Yeah. And so, dude, you could even have your VAs come up with like an email campaign to target these people, like throw them into a sequence. Like there's so many ways to go about that.
And I'll send you like the proven cold email templates that we have. I'll just send them to you. All you have to really do is just slightly modify it to your company name and your offer. And you already have that offer package, which we can take a look at as well.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest bottleneck he's experiencing is he doesn't feel like his offer is accurately communicating to his audience.
Okay. Well, let's get into that in just a sec, but I just want to make sure, Michael, how do you feel so far about like having a structure and a strategy in place? Like, oh, this is exactly step by step on how you can start getting leads. And of course, like, this call is there, and then you can always ask us for help as well in your Slack channel. But what's really important is you understanding like, oh, this is what we're trying to build and this is where we're trying to go to. Does that all make sense?
Yeah. So what I've gotten understood so far is like I can find these leads and these companies through the Play Store.
Kyle, you want to type it in? Let's see. And you'll have to play around a little bit with the keywords. I mean, I don't know, just type in Play Store. I don't know if do we need like specific people or how does that work, Kyle?
It just says keyword, man. Like
keywords, let's try it. Let's give it a shot.
Play Store.
And this is part of business, Michael. Like literally, this is exactly what I would do too, right? If like, you just figure it out.
What kind of city should I search in?
Because like I had explained to Kyle before and Z and all that. So like if we're wanting to like promote games or stuff like that, Zarar, a game publisher is like the parent company, right, of the game itself. Like they hold all the license, marketing, all that stuff to it. But then you have a game studio, and they're the ones that do all the drawing, the AI behind it, and all that, and they have nothing to do with the marketing. So that's kind of where we're having an issue.
Okay, a joint venture partnership, right? So a game studio, they're not publishing, right? It's not there; they're just making it, correct?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a joint venture. So you become their partner when it comes to marketing services for their clients, and then you give them like a referral fee. So like for example, all the clients 10% flat. You give every single month, they get that commission. And for them, it's like, there's so many wins for them, right? Number one is not only do they make 10% of everything that you would make, but also it's like, hey, they can now tell their clients, oh yeah, we can also do the marketing for you. Because the biggest thing is just like this, right? The front end is like you're helping people solve a problem, right? So why is someone coming to a gaming studio? Well, they don't have the technical ability to be able to craft and develop and design with an app or a game with a proper functionality. All right. Okay, cool. That's done. What's next? Well, that app is completely useless if there's no eyeballs. The next problem that arises, the back-end upsell, is marketing services, right? Yeah. So if they don't have those skill sets, chances are they probably don't. And you don't have the studio skill sets of like designing and all that. Okay, no worries. But you have the marketing skill sets. That's where you come in and you propose a joint venture. Like, hey, look, I want to be your number one partner when it comes to servicing all your clients, when it comes to all the marketing services for them. In return, I'll give you, XYZ percentage in commission every single month. And also, if you can help me and give me some of the case studies of the people that you've worked with, because now we're one team. Does that make sense? So it's like you can go from zero, from scratch, and look like you've been in the industry for so long because you're partnered with them, right? It's it's a partnership. It's a joint venture, right? We were doing like 40, I think it was like 40 to 45K a month, completely passive. Like literally, I remember me and Christian, and this is 2020, actually like 2019, 2020. We were just like, what do we do? There was nothing. We would go to the team and they'd be like, hey, we're good, because we developed that system. So this is exactly how you can do that too. It was a complete joint venture, by the way. Zero ad spend, pure profit, right? So the joint venture route is also another route that you can do and just go to the studios versus you having to scrape for, all these people. So that's also definitely another option. Welcome to entrepreneurship, man. This is exciting stuff, right? You just have to really get really resourceful and really think for yourself.
Yeah. Now, I just keep getting stuck back at who are these people?
What was that?
I get stuck back at okay, well, who? Because every niche, even y'all have an audience, when right, exactly who to target, and so maybe y'all have. I'm not sure what your niche is. What do y'all actually do? What is 𝐾's marketing audience?
So let me give you an example for launch my agency. I think that's a better one because it's way tougher for that. Well, it's in some ways it's tougher, in some ways it's easier. Our market is all sorts of different people, right? Literally doctors, lawyers, freelancers, Uber drivers, corporate executives, and everything in between. So how do we, It's how do we attract those specific people? Well, we didn't have the money to run paid ads when we first started. So we did exactly like literally what I'm talking to you about. is literally what we did. We just did it slightly different when it comes to the Facebook group model, right? So we were going on other Facebook groups. It's the same stuff, but it's like just like the platform's a little different, right? And you can do this for yourself as well. Oh man, this is actually really good for you too. Go make a list of all the Facebook groups that there are for like game marketing or game studios. And those are your people. Now all you have to do is connect with them, DM them, right? It's a grind, but that's just what it, like, literally, that's how we launched our own business. Like, launch my agency. This is exactly how we launched it, because we did not have money for ads. We had a lot of cash, but it was being used for different things, different purposes already. We didn't have a marketing budget for this specifically when we first launched it. So we're like, let's just figure something out when it comes to just cold stuff. So like we got our first few clients from these Facebook groups. So we were just going through groups, and we had a very similar model to you, had VAs, and we'd add them in a little group chat and ask them like, hey, like, we have this other group. Would you like to join? Boom, put them inside of our group. We had our marketing going in there. And then once people were ready, they basically would raise their hand to book a call with us. They'd hop on a call. I would close them. And that's how we got our first few clients. I took some of that money and then put it in ad spend, right? Because first, number one, I proved it. It was it's like cold traffic, right? It's like complete strangers. I already proved it there and then took that cash and put it in ads, because getting your ads right, it's, I'm not going to say it's a gamble, but it's very, very, very tough. But once you get it, it's a system that can literally make you like $1 million a month, right? So it's like, it's worth the risk. It's worth the gamble, right? If you know what you're doing, that's where the offer packaging, that's where, the marketing message, the marketing monikers, all that stuff comes in, which we're going to address for you as well right now. Like, you can prove it doing it on cold without having to do too much money up front, get a couple bucks in, and now you have free ad spend. Just think of it like that, right? Instead of because I know the mental thing that it takes of like, when you're spending money in ads, you're like, man, is it going to work? Is it not? Right? You're very, but I mean, at the end of the day, once, if someone gives you money, that's not really technically your money. Like, we don't own anything. Like, it's just, it's just exchange. Like, we're going to send it back to someone. You know what I mean? It's just a system like that. Yeah. So it just doesn't stress you out too much at night, if that makes sense.
Michael, really quick, by the way, I know Zerar's, simplifying a lot of things. Don't take it lightly, man. Like, he's giving you so many nuggets that you can easily just slip over your head. But everything he's saying, like, companies I worked for prior, they had some killer ads and they were making millions a month because they have a proven system. So like, everything he's saying is it's like a platter for you, man.
And you may want to go through this recording, Michael. I just want to provide you the most value that I possibly can.
Because I'm trying to still retain a lot of this. So I'm kind of
I'll
like,
send you the recording, bro. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, we'll send you the recording. Michael, so I'll tell you real quick, what Kyle said is very important, right? Some of the stuff, like I'm talking about from years and years of experience. I've interviewed hundreds of people, learned a lot myself, invested so much money. So it's like all that in like this short amount of time. For example, we have like an hour. It's a lot, right? I get it. But I mean, this is kind of like what it takes, right? You want to be a company owner, a company CEO. But the plus side of this is you just need to understand the high level of how it works and maybe prove it just like once or twice, and then just use our team. Like, that's what you're here for, right? Leverage our team. We can design, develop, write, sell, like all that stuff for you. But you just need to know. I mean, if I was in your shoes, I would want to know of how it works, right? Because you don't want to be fully dependent on us, because there's going to be a time where we shake hands and part ways. Like, that's just how it works, right? So I want you to be in a spot to be able to be self-sustained eventually. So whether you need to listen to this recording 3, 4, 5, 6 times, go for it, because that's literally what I used to do as well. When people who were maybe a few steps ahead of me, a few years ahead of me, I would feel a little overwhelmed. Like, what is he talking about? It wasn't until like I had to burn it in my brain. And then I was like, oh, now I understand, right? So there is an element of, you can't bake a cake in 5 minutes and put it on 700 degrees, right? There is a little bit of time that it does take naturally, but just know that you're literally getting, advice and insights from, we don't like to brag, but we're pretty much really, really good at what we do. We're one of the best in the world when it comes to, models like this. So you're getting it straight from the source. So, you have our support, you have our access throughout the whole journey. So don't feel like, oh, it's only about this call. It's going to be throughout the whole journey that you're with us, but this call is just like high level of going to give you everything that you need to know.
Hey, so I got a question for you then. Like, instead of like the model that I'm sitting at right now with like my foundation, instead of trying to like jump up there with it, how do I put this into words? So like, what's your what y'all do for like game development and stuff like that? What if I went that route and just like piggybacked off what y'all do?
So you mean like develop games versus marketing for them?
And then or maybe do both both in one and do
Well,
like a package with that?
okay, let's understand this, right? So, like, let's look at our journey. We first had our digital marketing agency. That's the first business model that we launched because it was like pound for pound the best business model on earth. Why?
Yeah.
Man, like all you need, I mean, it sounds kind of corny, but all you need is literally, Wi-Fi, laptop, phone, and you're good to go. You don't need anything else because you're selling services. When it comes to a game or when it comes to apps, you're selling products, and there's an investment that is required to be able to develop some of those products, right? And that investment is, can get pretty heavy, right? Like I'll tell you from experience when it comes to like apps, games, like, if you're trying to compete on on a pretty big level, we're not, I mean, you've seen some of our stuff. We have like million, some of our stuff has like 5 million plus downloads, some of our other accounts. We're not playing at the highest level there. And we still we literally have invested over 7 figures, multiple 7 figures overall, as a company, just to be able to establish some of these games and apps. A lot of them fail. That's just the way it goes. Right? So it's like,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, do you have that ability to be able to invest, for example, 500 grand and be completely comfortable with losing half of it, 250K, just light it on fire. Like if you're comfortable, you know what I mean? It's a product that you're trying to, and there's fierce competition, but here's the plus side of this. Once it hits, it's like free cash, to be honest with you. It's just coming in because the competition is not it's kind of like this, right? You're in a plane, you're trying to take off, and then the clouds come, and you're like, man, what's going to happen? And then in a blink of an eye, it just becomes all blue. That's exactly how it feels with these apps and games. But to get there, it takes the most amount of fuel, which is the most amount of money, for example, in this case. So I wouldn't advise going in this route unless you have investors and stuff. I would rather go into the marketing side, and the skill set that you're going to learn, Michael, invaluable. Like it's like you touch anything, it turns into gold, right? Because we learned marketing and sales to the highest level that we possibly could. We launched our apps and games business. We became successful with it. Even still, we still lost a lot of money, but we were able to generate, pretty much like passive income. At this point, literally, like a lot of it is just completely passive coming in. You know what I mean? So that's just the phase that I would go into. Get your agency up, make, 7 figures, multiple 7 figures. You'll have some cash left, and then you can start to invest. Whether you want to do real estate, whether you want to do the game stuff, you want to open up that division in your business, that's completely up to you at that point.
Yeah, when I first came to y'all, I think I had mentioned to you before, like when I first came to LMA, that's what I was doing was I was working with remember I had told you I was working with different, and that's what we were doing. We're developing a game, and that never worked out. We never got any clients, nothing.
Yeah, it's really not easy, but follow a service-based business model. People will pay you for these skill sets. And again, like you don't even have to have the skill set yourself. It's like leverage our team. Like that's what you're here for, right? We have the designers, the developers, the copywriters, the sales guys, the setters, the closers. I can go on and on of all the people that we have, dozens of them, just use them. But you need to understand how it works so that you can run this business to the best that you possibly can.
Yeah, no, that's the part that I get stuck on the most is like, okay, what am I wanting to do? And I know what I want to do, but how do I do it? That's where I'm stuck at. I'm kind of like a quarter of the way up the ladder trying to look up and be like, okay, what's the next step?
Yeah, well, like that's always the case. Like even me, like, man, there's some things that this is why you're having this call, right? So like literally last week, I think it was today, I was having a call with my mentor, Cole Gordon, and I was like, man, I kind of feel stuck in a specific situation, and he helped me out. Like I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like it was a call very similar, just like this, right? So we're also putting ourselves in other rooms. We're also talking to other people who are maybe a few steps ahead of us and getting the clarity that we need. It's a never-ending process. Mm-hmm. Anyone, Michael, who thinks they know everything, anyone who says who tells you that they're fully in control, is complete liar. No one ever is. All right. No one ever is. Yeah. Just like Kyle said, every great mentor has a mentor. And we have to be completely okay with like being out of control to some level, but doing everything we possibly can that is within our control. And the results are the results. Whether good or bad is irrelevant. It's going to happen. Like, it is what it is. But the beauty of this game is if you do the right things over a long enough time horizon, you will absolutely get the results that you're looking for. It's probably just going to take a little bit longer than you expected.
Yeah, that's why, like, for example, like why for a long time, why I targeted, like, for example, was that Lemonade company, because they do like full service, but gaming side of it is that's where I kept getting stuck, man, is where, because I was like, okay, well, I want to market for these games, but like when I go and look at all these companies like Pocket Well or Lemonade, or some of these other ones, it says brand, that scale your brand, bring in gamers need, video game need gamers, blah 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 blah. So I'm sitting here saying, okay, well, what do we say in our offer? Like, how do we offer that same thing? Because that's kind of like, because exactly what Lemonade is doing is where I wanted to start off, and that's what I have been struggling with the most. Is like, how do I do that? What are they
Okay.
into?
Let's have a quick look. Kyle, you want to just share your screen? Well, let's go through Lemonade stuff that you just sent.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, like, see, overall, they work in the entertainment industry, game industry.
Go up real quick, Kyle, all the way to the top. Okay, driving attention through branded entertainment. Okay, keep going. Yeah, these guys are big.
Yeah, they're really established.
Yeah, they have they're in, I think, Dubai too. They have like 3 or 4. They're all over the place. Let's see, yeah, gaming, entertainment. Yeah, it's pretty awesome, man. They are exactly what I want to be.
Okay, for sure. So how much research have you done on them? Like, did you hop on any calls? Did you see what kind of ads they're running? And then did you compare your specific offer with theirs?
Well, a lot of like what I've been doing with mine, Zarar, is like kind of just like piggybacking off what they do, because I'm like not too familiar with like.
Well, the way our systems are, Michael, you should be able to craft something better than them. Like, I truly like the structure, like the little details that go into crafting world-class level, grand slam offers. I can almost guarantee it's going to be better than theirs. They just have a big brand and a big name.
Mhm.
Right. So never shy away, never feel afraid of like, you can't compete with them. Trust me, you can. Right. You take their stuff because they're definitely doing something right. But then model it. Don't copy it. Right. Because that's their intellectual property. Model it and then just base it off what we show you, what we teach you, the structure of how to craft that Grand Slam offer.
Yeah, going back into the offer worksheet of module 1 video 8.
Yeah.
Really helpful.
Like literally like launch my agency's offer. Exactly. The same stuff I'm telling you is because, a lot of our friends, for example, came to us and said, hey, can you help us with our agency? Can you help us with our agency? So we'd hop on calls just like this, right? One-off calls. And then it was just got to a level where everyone's keep asking us. And we're like, okay, so there must be a lot of demand for this. And apparently we figured something out, right? At the time, I think we had like 30, 35 employees. I wanted a spree of like looking at what everybody else offered. Everyone else was a course. Everyone else was a coach. And nothing against them, but like, honestly, we've bought so many courses and stuff. Some of them are really good, but most of them, man, they're just like bad. I'd say like 90-95% of them just stink, right? There's a few really good ones, but most of them don't. So it's like, okay, what can separate us from the crowd? That's where we were like, oh, we're going to tell, like, we are not coaches and we're not course creators. And we're going to tell people up front, like, look, if you're looking for a course or a coach, we may have some elements to it, but we are not going to classify like that, because it's the easy way out is what we believe. It's like, hey, just saying a few things and that's it, leaving. No. We wanted to build businesses with people and for our clients and for people, right? That's where Launch My Agency's offer was born. And that's why we blew up, right? We did like 92K in 11 days of launching, because people were just sick and tired of buying courses, of working with coaches who just watched a few YouTube videos, posted an ad with a supercar, and don't know anything, that they have like no substance to them. They don't have that experience, right? They haven't been 850K in debt like we have, right? And when I say that, it's a good thing, because you learn so many skill sets, right? Like, for example, Donald Trump, how many billions of dollars has he been in debt? And how many times has he gotten out of that, right? It's the person you become. It's the skill sets that you can acquire. Most of these people, they don't have that stuff. So when we put ourselves out there as we're going to help you build this business up in the trenches with you, rolling up our sleeves with you. And Michael, you're one of our clients. You've seen kind of the journey that you've been on. And like, even I'm telling you, like, a lot of the stuff we can do for you. How's your experience been so far, by the way?
Yeah, I love it, man. Even though, it's taken a lot longer than expected, but it's been great, because, like, I'm slowly learning stuff.
Oh, he's come a long way.
Yeah.
100%. Dude, you started with like nothing, right? And like, here we are, we're like looking at Lemonade Agency, and like, we're going to help, we're going to craft a better offer than them. Some of these things do take a few months extra, right? So don't worry about the time stuff. It's about getting it right. And once it's hit, it becomes a system. It becomes a repeatable system, right? Mm-hmm. So, all right, let's go ahead and take a look at your offer so far, what you have, Michael.
Okay, yeah, I sent a link to you if you wanted to take a look at that. Yeah, that's all from our first when we ran campaigns on Facebook and all that stuff. That was our kind of like what we're doing, but it didn't do too good. I think we went like $700 in. And had a
AAA. What's
campaign.
AAA game publishers? What's this?
Okay,
Oh, what's your name?
those well, see, that's what I have been wondering because like if you Google it and you type in video game industry, like okay, who game publishers, are they mobile game publishers, are they video game publishers? I'm trying to stay in that video game niche. So AAA is like the game, like video games. That's what they're called. They're known as AAA. And so that's kind of like what I've been stuck, it's like in, but I don't even know if this is right or not. So I've just been going like the research that I found. This is kind of like the outcome of it.
I didn't fully understand. Like, kind of cut off a little bit there. But you're saying something like this. Someone else is using this name or something. What do you?
It's basically like a professional way to classify who he's targeting. It's kind of speaking
Gotcha.
the language. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, understood.
So
that's what I thought.
If someone's in that industry and they see that, they would know what he's talking about.
Yeah. That's what I was like. I've seen it before. Okay, got it.
Yeah, because like if I just said only game publishers, it's your time, whatever. That could be a mobile game studio. That could be a software.
So you're coming off, Michael, as a social media kind of offer versus a paid ads or like a revenue generating offer. You see the small words that matter. And correct me if I'm wrong. It seems like you want to build this company out where you can work with people who you can, get more revenue for. Correct?
Yeah, because I think overall, like if you're a video game studio and developer or publisher, whatever they call themselves. So like I've always used Activision for an example. Activision, like when they come out with Call of Duty games, maybe you'll understand this. So when they come out with Call of Duty games, they get Treyarch, and Treyarch is their developer, right? So they're the ones that create all the Black Ops games. And then they reach out to Sledgehammer or Infinity Ward, and those are the Modern Warfare one. So you have two different companies. This one does Black Ops. This one does, the Modern Warfare games. But these are the developers, not because Activision is the one that has all the marketing, all that. These other two, only thing they do is just create the game. So that audience is who I'm trying to target. Because like when they come out with a game and it goes out to stores and all that, I know they want people to read their story of their games, but because that's like the most important part, but it's the sales. I know they care about the sales. Because every time I've researched any of it, it's always revenue, sales, brand, user acquisition. That's all it is. It's the same thing no matter how I type it or what I type.
End of the day, bro, they need cash flow. That's their biggest need.
That's their biggest need.
Like, right? Why do they create a video game?
Yeah, exactly.
Because
so it's like if that's your main offer, you saying recognition and loyalty, it sounds like more of that you're trying to get into the content space then, or like you're trying to help them brand, which can result in ROI, but it's not a very aggressive. It's not a pure marketing agency where it's like just purely based on dollar in, dollar out. You see what I'm saying? And usually that's where the big bucks are. For sure, branding agencies definitely is there as well, but it seems like you want to focus in on the paid side, or like, getting them traffic, having that convert. Your main marketing right here, it speaks out branding. It's two different things. Does that make sense? So if someone lands here, like, oh, okay, cool. This guy, these guys help with branding, but that's not what's happening. And then now you see where the disconnect is, right? So this is why it's like really go through the offer creation modules that we have. Or else like, man, like if you don't get this right, it's like, it's going to take a lot longer than you want it to, because this is like your house, your online house. Like you're sending people to it, but it's the wrong address, right? Yeah. So we want to get very crystal clear on what we offer and have the same structure for it, right? So if like someone, for example, thinks, oh, they're going to get help with branding, but then on the sales call, you're trying to, tell them that, hey, look, we do, we're going to help you get more revenue. It's like, but I came in for branding. And then you're like, no, but we do you see what I'm saying? And then the sales calls it just becomes it just kind of like, it's a domino effect. Whether it's a positive domino effect or a negative is completely up to how you package and craft your offer, right? So just follow the methodology and the structure we have. Like I truly believe you can compete with Lemonade in terms of how you appear. You can appear better than them. right? Then it's a matter of getting testimonials, getting case studies, getting your first few clients, and just blowing up like that.
Yeah, see, this is where I got stuck the most and confused because
Yeah.
like
Well, does
you
that
know,
clear things up? You see where I'm
yeah,
going with this? Yeah.
yeah, I see what you mean now. So like for an example, when like before y'all had told me, okay, do market research. So when I look at like Lemonade, they talk about branding and like and so that's what they do for video games. But then I'm like, well, I don't want to do branding. I want to do like what I told y'all. So that kind of just throws that out. And then so like I actually went to Activision's media, and there says the same thing. It's like every game company that I look up for research, it's always about branding. So I'm like, well, then how do I find the stuff for the revenue?
Yeah.
And that's where I get confused, lost. This is the outcome of it.
Well, that should definitely help you, right? And we can even open up some of the ads. Do you have some of the ads there? We can take a look at that real quick.
I can pull them up if I need to.
Yeah, because I don't have them.
Okay.
Yeah, I finally hit that point, Zerar. That's why I was like, man, I need help with the research. So I had to reach out to you.
For sure, man. I mean, we've been through this several dozen times ourselves, right? And we've taken over 300 other people. And the biggest thing that I've seen, you brought up like, it's taking a little bit longer. Well, if it's followed to the exact level that it's supposed to, like literally you're looking at 30, 45 days, you can be like 10K a month, like truly, But if it takes longer, there's always going to be some sort of constraint somewhere in the process, right? It's always just a matter of, okay, cool, let's fix the constraint. A lot of people think that, you have to be lucky in business. There's some truth to that. It's like maybe like 5% truth to that. But besides that, the 95% is like purely hard work and knowing what to work on. And leverage, right? If you have leverage, you can just, use other people just like us. Like you can use our team to do a lot of these things for you, right? But you need to understand of what you're trying to do, right? The offer, at least you should understand the offer, right? If you're a little confused on the offer, your leads, the people who are complete strangers, of course, they're going to also be confused, right? So you can't confuse people. Confused buyers never buy. Always remember that.
Okay.
All right. So
these are the old ads. I think we had ones that were created after. That was from our original first campaign that we.
Let's see.
Yeah, it should be like day one or something.
All right, let me find those real quick. I don't know why it's not here. Yeah, give me 1 second. Sorry, I'm trying to go back into the archives. Yeah, Michael, if you have a question while I'm trying to get this for you real quick, you can go for that.
Okay.
Okay, well, I'll do this. We have the ad copy. I think that's still something to work with here.
Oh, wait, maybe.
You have them, Michael?
Oh, forgot. I can just go to Facebook. I think they're still there. They're just turned off.
Yeah, because I had the link for it, and then when I opened it up, it wasn't there anymore. But I wonder if that's because we are currently, let's see if this is different. I think it's because we currently paused it.
I can get into my profile. Okay, so it should be under Ad Manager, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Michael, if you can't find them, again, we have the copy we can go over, which is the biggest part. So
yeah, I have no clue where this went. Because I just pulled it up on mine too, and it's blank.
That's what I was saying. I think that they got deleted because we did pause it, which makes no sense. But I'll have to chat with Z and see where those are. In the meantime, Zerar, we can just go over his copy, those ads.
So just this specific ad, these ad copies right here?
Yeah. So these are the current ad copies. I just can't find the ad cribs at the moment.
Cool. All right. Let's do that. AAA gamers, boost your brand.
So it's going back to the brand building, not revenue.
You guys see it now. You see it, Michael? Right there. You mentioned the ads didn't work. It's never like that. I get it. I understand, right? It's a big misconception of people thinking ads like it didn't work. Well, all you're doing is buying data. That's all you're doing.
Oh, okay. Wait, I found them. Here you go. How do I swap screens?
There we go. You should have permission. I don't know if Zerar to give that to you or not.
Where is you? Okay, can y'all see that?
There we go.
Yep.
Perfect.
Okay, so these are it right here.
Those are what?
Yeah, these are it right here. I'm trying to figure out how do you open those.
So how does he view the current ads?
So yeah, all right. Just go to your right there. Yeah, just click. Okay, hold up. Go. No. Just hover over it. Go to the edit button. All right, go down. Should be on the right side. Okay, calling all AAA gaming publishers, scale your revenue the easy way. All right, better headline here for sure.
Wait, so real quick, Zerar, it's funny. I think, Michael, you forgot to mention this, but the only ad set that performed well was the one talking about revenue. The other three weren't doing well, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's the one I was doing well then.
Yeah, the revenue one was doing great. All the brand ones were just
Well, there you go. That's
There's the
that's your
data.
answer, right? That's why we do these audits, right? And again, I was basically saying there's a misconception between people thinking the ads don't work. They always work. It's just a matter of we're buying. I mean, we're buying data. It's not a matter of whether it works or not. It's just a matter of the direction that we're in, right? Like the you can't say Facebook ads don't work, for example. That specific ad may not have the desired outcome that you wanted it to, but it still gave you the results that the market's going to tell you about. If it sucks, the market's going to tell you. If it's good, the market's going to tell you, right? At the end of the day. So it's a pure math game when it comes to that, right? So there's two sides of it, the science of it and the art side of it as well, right? So here, the art side of it is like the offer, the creative part, and the science side of it is like making decisions based on what's doing the things that we wanted to do when it comes to getting closer to the desired outcome, right? And then just creeping up from there. So, all right, boost your game sales guaranteed.
And then I guess down here it says skyrocket your pre-orders day one sales. I don't know where it was this part. I don't know how to.
Exactly. You read that and it's just like, it's a pure branding play here that we're doing, but it's not a branding. It's an ROI offer, Yeah. So I just changed that. Your creatives are not too bad. Like, they're decent, but it's just, yeah.
Yeah. The crazy part, man, is when me and Kyle first started with this. You remember that, Kyle? Originally it was revenue. That's what we had.
But the target was off.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what. And then we swapped everything. And then, then there's this one.
Oh, Michael, by the way, this is what all online companies do in running ads. It's all about optimizing.
Yeah.
Zerard, do we have ads that don't work from time to time?
We have ads all the time that don't provide the desired outcome, right? All the time. I'd say 80% of our tests fail. And that's how it goes. But the 20% that does, it not only brings the money that you might have invested, I wouldn't say lost because all you're doing is buying data, right? But the money that comes in is just those become winners. And the beauty about this space is like you can just scale that, spend more, make more. Right now, we average about 1 to 8.2. So like $1 we spend, we get back $8.2 in return. And we can just continue to keep going up until we get about 4, right? That's just how it is.
Yep.
Yeah. So like what you were saying here. So like one of these ads right here, like over here on the left, like the writing, I guess you can see where it says like brands like Ubisoft, blah, blah, blah. And then I guess this is, where we got confused because see right here, we're saying this, but then, and then we're down here with revenue. This one's revenue, but then we go right there.
The brand. Yeah.
Brand.
Yeah. There we go. The answer's right there.
Yeah.
Just fix that up a little bit, fix up the offer slightly and go from there.
So Rod, to recap, I know our time's coming to an end. So would you suggest Michael should go back like the offer worksheet and fill it out with the new information he has?
100%.
Okay. Yeah. And then Michael, what I'll do is I can relay this information to Gabe just so he's up to date on things and we can begin to work on new copy of everything. Because we're close, dude.
Yeah, one thing I want to know though, Zorar, from your idea, like this right here, this where it says pre-orders day one sales, like should we even say that, or should we just stick with tell your story, boost your
say pre-orders? That means probably it's a brand new game, and then usually people who have that, they may be like single developers. They don't really, they're not very, they may not have that kind of funds, those kind of funds, and you're kind of like capping yourself. I just go in a little bit broader there versus just saying, oh, we only work with people who have pre-orders, right? So
okay, like how I thought of it, like when I first saw this was, like every game company wants to tell a story. That's the whole purpose of the game, right? You want to tell the story of their game. So should I go in with like tell your story and boost your revenue?
No. Nope. It's two completely different things. You want to be as specific as you can be.
Their biggest bottleneck, Michael, is revenue. They already have the story. And if they get cash flow, people are going to hear about the story, is my thought process.
Okay. So we'll just stick with like revenue.
Yeah, we can say a few different ways, but
yeah, I'm glad to clear that up, man, because I kept looking at all this going.
Well, there we go. The answer is right there. Yeah. So we went a little backwards, right? So we went a little bit into how to get the leads, how to sell them, and then we went into the offer. So let's clean up the offer, then we'll figure out the leads, and then we'll figure out the sales, right? Okay. So yeah.
Yeah, because I do want to run Facebook campaign again.
Well, that's the way to scale for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, yeah, we get this fixed.
Mm-hmm.
Deal, man.
Awesome, dude. All right. Well, hope you got a lot of value. And yeah, just let us know, put it inside of your channel there, Kyle, myself, we'll be able to help you out.
Real
we'll take it
quick,
from there.
Zerar, Michael, I'll send over the recording when it uploads, and then I'll let you know. I'm gonna reach out to Gabe as well, and we'll go from there. Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
All right,
All right,
guys.
Cool deal, man.
Michael. Bye-bye.
Thanks,
Good to see ya.
Gerard.
Take care.